Yeah, hello students, welcome to Simply Anthro. In this video, we will going to talk about the chapter 6, 7, 8 of Anthropology Paper-1 syllabus. Generally, we know, right? In the Paper-1 of Anthropology, total we have 12 units. Among that 6 and 9. These are the three lengthiest units. But these three units cover very important marks. I mean to say more than 100 to 120 marks would be only from these three particular units. So 1 is lengthy, already we have seen 6 is lengthy, 9 is also lengthy. But let us look at, if you understand this chapter 6, many of the chapters revolving around the chapter 6. Why? Because in chapter 6 we will talk about many of the thinkers. Each and every thinker is again related to what? Chapter 6 itself. What is chapter 6? Called as anthropological thought, which is also called as anthropological theories. To look at this, there are many theories. Just I'll discuss in this theory. Who gave in theory and what is a theory name? Very, very important. So classical evolution. Classical means which is old. The classical evolution given by three people. They're all called as anthropologists, anthropological thinkers. One is Mr. E.B. Tyler, Henry Morgan and James Fraser. E.B. Tyler, Henry Morgan and James Fraser. But these three people we will discuss almost everywhere in anthropology, okay na? So classical evolution given by E.B. Tyler, Henry Morgan and Mr. James Fraser. And historical particularism. So historical particularism. All these chapters are revolving around the culture as a center. Historical particularism is another theory given by Franz Boas. And diffusionism. There are three schools of diffusionism. British school of diffusionism, German school of diffusionism, American school of diffusionism. What do you mean by diffusion? Culture from one center, it got diffused to all the parts of the world, called as diffusionism. Means originated here, from here it spread to everywhere, called as diffusionism. Three schools, American school, British school, German school. We'll talk about functionalism, which is given by Malinowski. We'll talk about Malinowski in many chapters of anthropology. Functionalism given by Malinowski. Structural functionalism. This is functionalism, Malinowski. This is structural functionalism given by Radcliffe Brown. Structural functionalism given by Radcliffe Brown. In short, we can call him as R.C. Brown. Next, only structuralism. Functionalism, Malinowski. Structural functionalism, Radcliffe Brown. Only structuralism given by Levi-Strauss and Edmund Leach. Only structuralism given by Levi-Strauss and Edmund Leach. Very, very important. Next, culture personality school given by culture, how culture influences the personality, how personality influences the culture, vice versa. Very interesting, right? So, because you are living in a particular culture, your personality is based on your culture. And your culture is reflecting your personality. You are from Andhra region, culture is different, personality is different. You are from Northeast, culture is different, personality is different. Which means, culture and personality both are influencing on each other. Look at this. Who gave the concept called as culture personality? One is Ruth Benedict, Margaret Mead, Ralph Linton, and Gardiner and Cora Dobios. These are the people who gave a concept called as culture personality school. In this we have thinkers, but if you repeat this one or twice, very, very easy chapter, my dear. Only this chapter will be getting minimum 50 marks. Only from the paper 1, chapter 6 will get 50 marks out of 250. So this is a center point, very, very important. Next, neo-evolutionism. Classical means old. Neo-evolution is nothing but new, which is given by Child, Gordon Child, Leslie Alvin White. You can note down the names. Leslie Alvin White, Julian Stewart, Charlins and Services. These are the people who gave a concept called as neo-evolutionism. Next, culture materialism given by Marvin Harris. Culture materialism. Every culture is having material or non-material aspects. But he said culture materialism is a theory given by Marvin Harris. Symbolic and interpretative theories given by Vector Turner, Schneider, and Geertz. Okay, very important. Symbolic and interpreted, because culture has a symbol and every symbol can be interpreted, right? So theory given by Victor Turner and Schneider, Clifford, Geertz. These are the people given a concept, symbolic and interpretative. Next one, cognitive theories. Cognitism. This English word cognitive theory is given by Taylor. E.B. Taylor is different from this Taylor and Conklin. Cognitive theory given by Conklin and Taylor. And last one, postmodernism in anthropology. Postmodernism is nothing but after independence, what and all happening in the anthropology, that we are going to discuss. Only this chapter gives you 50 marks, my dear. And if you understand this chapter, these thinkers, these concepts will be there in chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, everywhere. In anthropology, very important. Okay, now this is what called as chapter 6, called as anthropological theories and anthropological thought we can talk about. Let us say seventh one, it is about very small culture, language, communication. Already we have seen culture in 2.1, right? The same thing, culture, language, communication. There we talk about nature, origin, characteristics. Nature, origin and characteristics of culture, language, communication. Communication is different from language, and language varies from one culture to another culture. Communication varies from one culture to another culture, right? So what is the nature, origin, characteristics of language, verbal and non-verbal communication. We know sign language, verbal and non-verbal communication. Next one, social context of language use. Where and where we can use the language in different tones, in different varieties. Chapter 7 is a small chapter like your chapter 3, chapter 4, where economic organization and political organizations. Like that, chapter 7 is a small one, okay na? Which is about culture, language and communication. Clear everybody? Next chapter 8, research methods in anthropology. Anthropology is a science. How do you find the science? By doing research. What are the various research methods we use in anthropology? In order to, because when I'm talking about the original anthropologists, in the initial days, there is no science, there is no research they did. They did armchair work. They are not visiting field, just imagining and writing. But later anthropology went to many field works. So research methods in anthropology. First one, field work tradition. Going to field, understanding the things. Field work tradition and a distinction between technique, method and methodology. What do you mean by technique? What do you mean by method? What do you mean by methodology? What are the differences between method, technique and methodology? Is it right? Next one, tools of data collection. What type of tools you are using to collect data about a tribal community or about any society? How do you collect the data? What are the tools you are using? Observation. Observation is a tool. By observing, I can collect the data. Interviewing. Just by I can interview, I can collect data from you. And scheduling is also type of interview, I'll explain. And questionnaire methods. All these are called as tools to collect the data. We can also call life history, genealogy, case studies, oral history, secondary sources means books, like a participatory method, and analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data. And the entire your chapter 8 is about research methodologies. And anthropology ni ela research chesav and what kind of tools we use, methods, methodology, techniques, what is interview, what do you mean by data collection. Finally, all the collected data need to be presented in a proper format. This is one of the simplest chapter and interesting chapter. So 7 is small, 8 is small, 5, 4, 3, 2, all these are small. What are big units? 1, 6, 9. So these are about some units. What is chapter 8? Research methodologies. What is chapter 7? Culture, language, communication. Chapter 6 is anthropological thought. Chapter 5, religion. Chapter 4 is about what? Economic political organization. Chapter 3, let us economic organization. Before that we say it's about society, culture, family, marriage, kinship, And chapter 1, we know there are many sub-units, that is meaning, scope and anthropology to the 1.8, that is a prehistoric concepts. Clear everybody? Let us see few more videos about this anthropological syllabus paper 1. Thank you.